And that's what keeps me motivated, that tomorrow can be better.
Tomorrow
but most
can be better.
importantly, I can play a role in making that tomorrow better,
Wow.
whether it's for myself or really for other people.
I love that. It is that time for your Royal Hustler. And this morning, we do have Sem Mandela Uutoni, who is a Namibian diplomat, executive thought leader, speaker, and best-selling author. He currently leads the Partnership and Communication for the United Nations World Food Program in Namibia. In his preceding role, he worked as the Chief Executive Officer of the One Economy Foundation and Deputy Director in the Office of the First Lady. Prior to this role, Sam worked as the National Development Advisor, focused on the UN-Namibia relations in the Office of the President, and stationed at the National Planning Commission. Prior to this, he worked on the regional integration in the Office of the Chairperson at the African Union Commission in Addis Ababa. Is that in Ethiopia? He holds a bachelor degree in regional and rural development and a master's degree in regional development and environmental economics. He graduated at the top of his class and as one of the best graduates in the university. He joins us this morning. Good morning, good sir. How are you this morning?
Good morning. How are you doing?
We are phenomenal. Tell us a little bit about your childhood and how that contributed to the person you are this day.
Yeah, firstly, thanks for having me here. I'm very, very delighted to be here. My childhood, it was a childhood of, I grew up with my grandmother. So I have only fond memories of my grandmother. She is my favorite person on earth. Thank God she's still alive. She's nearly 95, 96 now.
Wow, what a blessing.
And she was a very stern woman, believed in hard work. So I think like a lot of Namibian children wake up at the crack of dawn. And, be doing anything and everything until, you literally can't do anything else. So that was my childhood. But I think what that did for me is it gave me a great amount of discipline, a fantastic work ethic, and I think most importantly, an appreciation for what's important, and that's family and that's people. And I think that's all credit to my grandmother and the work that she did bringing me up.
What are some of the things that keep you grounded and motivated in life?
So grounded, motivated, two different things, right? On the grounded element, I think it's having good people around me that remind me of who I am. I think sometimes when you achieve a certain level of success and you do dope things in life, sometimes that does get to your head a little bit. True. But I think having good people around you that keep reminding you of who you are before all of that even showed 100%. Up, I think is very, very important. And I think on the motivation side of things, I think I do what I do because I have the conviction that tomorrow can be better, right? And that's what keeps me motivated, that tomorrow can be better. But most importantly, I can play a role in making that tomorrow better, whether it's for myself or really for other people.
I love that. What do you do to maintain a work-life balance? Because I am suffering at it. Please do share with us. Outside of work and outside of business, what do you do?
I think the person that answers that question will be maybe the richest person on earth, right? I think I haven't cracked that yet, and a lot of us haven't. But I think
struggling here.
Bro, it's not easy. I think it's a balancing act, number one. I 100%. Think there are certain times where personal life suffers a bit because work demands are a lot, and there are some times where work demands have to suffer a bit because personal life is a lot. But other than that, I am fond of fitness, so I go to the gym 5 times a week. Religious on that. Yeah, religious on that. So I think that's the one thing I think that grounds me in terms of my physical and just my health and helps me be a sane person, basically. So yeah.
Is there any leadership and business advice you would like to share to our listeners this morning?
Yeah, I think 2 things that are interrelated, right? I think the first thing is that we need to continuously keep learning. I think the world is evolving at such a fast pace. Everything around us is changing, and I think we're doing a disservice to ourselves if we don't learn, if we don't constantly try to improve ourselves. And the second one, I think particularly for other young people, is to really develop skills. I think we're moving towards a skills-based world and a skills-based economy where it doesn't really matter a lot about what qualification you have, but ultimately what skills you have and what you can bring to the table. So I think beyond studying and beyond getting degrees and all of that, I think as young people we need to focus very much on skilling ourselves, and that I believe will help us set set ourselves up for success.
Thank you for that. It is a difficult time in our nation. We are burying our late president this weekend. What are some of these stories you can share about him, and what did you think of him as a leader?
Yeah, I think over the last couple of weeks we have seen such a outpour of love everywhere for our late president.
Yes, definitely.
And I was very, very fond of him. I had the great privilege of working in the office of the president broadly, but more so when I was in the office of the First Lady. We worked quite close together. He attended a lot of our events. But in 2018, I was working at the African Union in Ethiopia, and I saw that he was coming to attend the African Union Summit. And I know, our president was very active on Twitter. So I tweeted him and said, I'm a young Namibian working in Ethiopia. I want to meet you. Thinking nothing would
just
come
like that.
Just like that. I was young and bold, right? And then he replied back and said, I want to meet you too.
Wow.
And then a couple of weeks later, he came to Ethiopia. His team got in touch with me.
Wow.
I met him at his hotel. I had an hour with him.
What?
Yeah, bro, so it was him and all his minister delegations. And it was a fantastic, fantastic engagement. And he didn't know who I was. But, he said, who's this young Namibian, putting Namibia on the map out there? Let me meet him. And it was just the most amazing conversation ever. He gave me the best advice. And that was my first time meeting him. And I always look back at that. And I think that's a reflection of the type of person and leader that he was.
And fast forward years after that, you were working in his office.
It's a beautiful coincidence. It's a beautiful coincidence.
Good, sir, Sam.
So, yeah.
Thank you so much for coming through this morning. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to spend time with us. We really do appreciate that.
Thanks for having me. I love your studio, so I might come around again.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Sam in the studio, being with us and sharing some of the fond memories that he shared with our loving president. We do keep the show going right here on your inspiration station.
That was 99 FM's Royal Hustlers.
Proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation.
Good today, better tomorrow.